Well, welcome back. You know him best as the SAS Who Dares Win Hard Man. But Ant Middleton is now using his experience of life in the armed forces for his second thriller, Red Mist.
And it is out today, and I'm pleased to say he joins us in the studio. Very warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
But you've done lots of autobiographical books and sort of positivity books, but you're now going into fiction. Are you our new Andy McNab?
Oh, I'm better than Andy McNab. No, what I love doing with my fiction is merging the two worlds, the non-fiction and the fiction. There's only certain things I can say throughout my life experience in my non-fiction. But in my fiction, again, and it is fiction, but I can talk about my life experiences, where I've been. I can tell about the locations that I've been to, and ultimately give a twist on my character. The character Mallory in the book is very much an alter ego of myself, shall we say.
Okay.
So it's a good chance to not only express my feelings and myself, but also my life experiences in real time.
Yeah, and you can also hide behind some of it and say, actually, that bit's not true.
Comes under fiction,
yeah,
absolutely, you know.
Yeah, well, look, for those who don't know, and look, lots of people will know you from the TV series that you've done and continue to do, but for those who don't know, you achieved the holy trinity of special forces, and you also were a sniper in the SBS, is
yes,
that right?
Right, that's correct, yeah.
So you, and 2 tours of duty to Afghanistan. So
Three.
Three, apologies. So you've
Okay.
seen it all.
Yeah. Yes, I've done this sort of like hardcore soldiering route. You know, I enjoyed soldiering. I've done, like I said, the Marines, the Paras, the Special Forces, the snipering world, which is sort of like an elite unit of the elite. I just enjoyed being out there, getting dirty and really getting into the nitty-gritty of modern-day warfare, shall we say. It really interested me, and that's what's so good about my books now, is I can take that, which interests lots of people out there, and almost put it into a lifetime sort of documentary, or into an archive, shall we say, where people can pick it up and go, does that actually happen? Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Read my books.
You must have a ruthless streak in you.
Do you know what? We all have, I think, but that's just what I say about the book. We all have a bit of Mallory in us. We've all got that little, that beast inside us that wants to come out and that needs to come out. And it's just how you exercise that, how you release that. So for me now, it's with my TV shows, SAS Australia, with $1 Million Island that's coming up, and with everything that I do, whether it's climbing mountains, but even writing books now. It really, it releases that beast. It sort of exercises my demons in letting it out for other people to enjoy.
Why call him Mallory? Mallory, of course, was a very famous Everest.
That's where it came from.
Oh, did it?
Because I've climbed Everest.
You nearly died descending Everest.
I did. It wasn't. It wasn't what I predicted, but it was a tough climb. And Mallory was it's a great name, and I believe that Mallory was the first to summit. Obviously
we're never sure. His body was found in a position. Did he get to the top?
I saw him right at the peak. And being a mountaineer myself, I know that just being at that peak, he would have, in my eyes, summited. So he wouldn't have just come down. He would have got that summit fever, which we all get. Now I just recently got it on K2. I've just recently climbed K2 as well. So from my experience and from what I've been through, I reckon Mallory was the first to summit Mount Everest. And I thought to myself, do you know what? What a great character to insert into my books.
I'm interested in the title, Red Mist. It kind of implies a little bit of the rage, a bit of anger coming in there. And look, you're someone who's obviously incredibly disciplined, and we've also seen you instilling discipline in other people and being pretty tough on that. But you've also famously lost your cool a couple of times, haven't you?
Absolutely,
I know you've talked about it. You've been to jail, you've done for assault. So someone so disciplined as you, if even you have not always been disciplined. The Red Mist has got you as well. Yeah,
like I said in my book, it says anger is a weapon, and if used correctly, it's a very, very useful weapon, for protecting not only the country, but for the people in the country. And sometimes, we lose our cool, we make mistakes, and that just shows that we're human. We can be trained to a certain level where we control our anger to a certain extent where you're on that line. And sometimes we overstep it, and I've overstepped it a couple of times. And when you do...
Was that when you were younger?
Yes, we're talking 10 odd years ago.
Now you'd be more...
Yes, and that's just through life experience, right? It's through trial and error, it's through getting things, right, and through getting things really wrong as well. So as long as you're learning along the way, which I do, which I have done, then, this is why I love sort of mentoring people now and and showing them how it's done through my actions.
And I'm interested, you've got 5 kids, haven't you, and a whole range of ages. What was the youngest one? 3, 4?
21 to 6.
Yeah, so you love your kids, and that's fabulous. But you've been quite, outspoken in some of your approaches. I'm a mum myself, and I resilience is so important in youngsters, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Tell us about some of your more controversial techniques, because I've read in the past that you've told your sons boys don't cry and they're not allowed to cry, and you've also done dipping your daughter in cold water to toughen her up. I mean, I think they're great, but I'm not sure I'd apply it to my own kids.
I've never said that boys don't cry, because I cry.
Okay.
I cried a couple of times recently on K2, so we do cry. I've never said that. I said there's a time and a place to let your emotions out. And the one I said about my son, he was in the ring, he was doing Muay Thai at a young age, and he got hit and he started to cry, and I just said to him, look, that's a sign of weakness in the ring. I said, look, just hold your emotions in, keep them in. I said, you can have a good cry after, but keep them in, because he'll have a psychological advantage over you. And I do believe that there's a time and place, always a time and place, to let your emotions out. You must control your emotions at all times. It's like anger. Anger is an emotion, but that doesn't mean that you can go around hitting everyone when you feel like it.
Yeah.
You have to control that emotion, and it's exactly the same with sadness, with empathy, whatever it may be. Control your emotions, because if not, people will take advantage of them.
Yeah, and I suppose that's that emotion that bonds you in the Special Forces, the love for the brothers, as you described, and you seed it. I mean, did you actually operate out in theatres of war with some of the guys that you were on SAS Who Dares Wins with? I mean, was that brotherhood already there, or was it just because you're all ex...
No, we came together as all ex-Special Forces, but I've got, I've just seen them this weekend. I've got very close friends in the Special Forces that are still serving, that are really, really close to me, and they'll always be really, really close to me. Just because we've been on the battlefield together.
Yeah.
We've had not necessarily got on all the time, but when I've looked to my left, to my right, it's allowed me to 100% focus on the task ahead, knowing
feel reassured
that
they're on
they're
either
there.
side of you.
Absolutely.
We have to ask you about Matt Hancock, who is the surprise package in the celebrity jungle. I've known him for a long time, because I write about politics, and he's going to possibly even win this thing. He's done the SAS programme too. Now, I know you're presenting in Australia.
Go on, tell us.
You must know, because you're a part of that SAS family.
You put me on the spot now.
Did he do well the SAS programme here on Channel 1?
All I can say is, if Fern McCann can pass, and she failed absolutely everything, then I'm sure Matt Hancock can pass. It's interesting, because a good friend of mine, Callum Best, I know that he was an absolute warrior on it, and on the last series and passed. But I do the Australian version now, which is the authentic version. Right. So. I think he does all right.
Politicians are resilient, though.
Yeah, no, I think
he's done so well in the jungle.
Yeah, they are resilient, but also they can be quite manipulative, can't they?
Oh, absolutely.
So I think a mix between resilience, manipulative, scheming, cunning,
Machiavelli, all those things.
I think he would fare well. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. Would you want him in your SAS group?
Absolutely not.
Listen, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to talk to you. Good luck with this book. I don't think you need it. All of your books do incredibly well. Sunday Time bestsellers and all the rest of it. We look forward to many more from the better than Andy McNabb and Middleton. Thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning.
Great to meet you.